Springleaf or Canberra, which is better? Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into two of the most exciting launches in the north of Singapore, Springleaf Residences by GuocoLand and Canberra Crescent Residences by Kheng, Leong and Huat. This region is heating up with infrastructure upgrades, lifestyle hubs and long-term transformation. So if you're looking for growth and livability in the north, this video is for you. As usual, we'll break it down all using our signature 7-step PIC checklist, plus I will share our personal take on which project fits which type of buyer best. If you're new here, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more content on property investment, real estate trends and home buying tips. Before we begin, let's do a quick recap of our 7-step PIC system. The 7-step PIC Property Investment Checklist is a proven system that we use to help hundreds of our buyers to evaluate any property they are looking at, resulting in profits over $300,000 to $400,000 and even more than $1 million. As usual, what we're sharing here is based on our own experiences and what works for us and the people around us. To find out more about this 7-step PIC system, you can watch our previous YouTube video over here. Let's take a look at the exact location of these two sites. So we have Springleaf, which is located at Upper Thomson Road, Parcel B, and it is next to the Seletar Expressway and surrounded by the landed property. And next we have Canberra Crescent Residences located along Canberra Crescent itself in the midst of the Canberra HDB neighborhood. The first step in our PIC system is entry price. So if we refer to our base limit chart, the OCR prices we're looking in 2025, we're looking at an average of about 2001 to 2004 PSF. And let's take a look at the comparison of the launches around the area. So first up, we have the Lentor area. So Lentor Mansion, we're looking at an average PSF of 2226, Lentoria 2249, Hillock Green 2228, Lentor Modern 2302, Lentor Central 2222 PSF. And for Woodlands, we have Norwood Grand starting from 2080 PSF. And of course, Sembawang, we have an EC North Gaya 1349 PSF. And previously, we also have the Water Gardens launched in 2021, which is expected to TOP in 2026. They will launch at an average of 1464 PSF. And recently, the sub-sale units in the development were going at 1007 to 1008 PSF. So let's compare to the indicative pricing for Springleaf, which they are looking at 2004 PSF onwards. And as you can see, based on the PSF of 2004, it's actually pretty much on a pretty high side. Because why? The highest PSF for Lentor Mansion itself was at 2476. The highest for Lentor Hill was 2451. Highest for Lentor Modern was 2468. And the most recent, Lentor Central, okay, the highest was at 2586. So for Springleaf to launch at 24 and above, they are looking at a pretty high price tag over here. Whereas on the other hand, Canberra is looking at 1009 PSF onwards. Wow, what a big difference of 500 PSF. Why so when they are both government-led sale? You may not be aware, but Springleaf, the plot was actually bought by GuocoLand at 905 PSF. Whereas the plot in Canberra was actually sold at 793 PSF. It's actually one of the cheapest plots around. It was just slightly above the price of the EC plot price. So because of the unbeatable price that Canberra plot was bought at, they were able to actually translate that to the prices to the home buyers. Just for your information, Tampines EC plot was actually sold at 768 PSF and Leong was sold at 729 PSF. So as you can see, the plot at Canberra was just a little bit higher than the EC plot price. Step 2, rentability. These properties are most likely aiming at own-stay buyers, but however, Springleaf sits right on the Thomson East Coast line. It appeals to tenants as it connects to various interchanges that gets you to Downtown Line, Circle Line, the North-South Line. And in terms of supply, there's actually not much supply in the area at the moment. And according to past statistics, mega-sized development near Thomson East Coast line are actually pretty sought after. Canberra though has a more mass market rental demand when the expansion of the Woodlands Regional Centre and the North Coast Innovation Corridor happens. I hope you guys are benefiting from my sharing so far. Before I go into further details, please help me by liking or sharing and even commenting if you do have any questions. And if you're looking for more information regarding Canberra Crescent Residence and Springleaf Residence, or if you would like to find out more about upcoming launches and how it's going to affect or benefit you as a consumer, do feel free to reach out to us at our number here. Just drop us a WhatsApp and our team will be happy to hear from you. The third step in our PIC system is where we evaluate our future transformation in the area which can drive long-term capital appreciation. First up, for Springleaf, there are actually 3 upcoming plot of lands around the area, and of course Parcel A, which is a mixed development which is recently launched for tender. Springleaf is also like an up-and-coming area like Lantor, going to develop a new township over there. As you guys know, GuocoLand is the first to bid a land over here at this place, so because of that, you will get what we call first mover advantage. Because why? Being the first plot of land, they set a price. The next few lands are not going to sell cheaper than them. And on top of that, there are also upcoming plots in the Tagore area which are already in the master plan. As for Canberra, of course, the upcoming transformation of the Sembawang Shipyard, okay, where the entire area is going to transform into a vibrant waterfront residential living when it comes to 2028. There is also a new township happening in Sembawang North, where there will be 8,000 flats and 2,000 over private housing available in the area. That means that there will be plenty of upgraders from the flats over there, which can potentially be your future buyers for Canberra. On top of that, Woodlands Regional Centre expansion and the North Coast Innovation Corridor, which offers jobs up to 20,000 jobs, as well as the RTS link to JB, huge plus points to Canberra area. One thing that you need to note is that for Canberra, the changes around the area will happen a little bit faster as compared to Springleaf. For Springleaf, you will have to look at the longer term planning. The 4th step is pull factors. Understanding what makes the location attractive to buyers and tenants. So when it comes to schools, unfortunately, there's no schools within 2 kilometers of Springleaf. Whereas for Canberra, there are actually 9 primary schools within 2 kilometers itself. When it comes to unique lifestyle offering though, Springleaf do have an edge over Canberra because it's surrounded by nature. You know, besides Springleaf, there is a forest and there's a Nee-Soon Swamp Forest. And as we discussed before in our PIC previous video, that nature actually raised housing prices. I hope you guys are benefiting from my sharing so far. If you do have any questions regarding Springleaf and Canberra Crescent, or if you would like to find out which of the new launches fulfills our 7-step PIC checklist, just drop us a text on this number here and our team will get back to you. The 5th step is connectivity, accessibility, and amenities. In terms of connectivity, Springleaf Residences offers direct shelter access to Springleaf MRT station on the Thomson East Coast Line, which connects you to Downtown Line, the Circle Line, as well as the North Sound Line. Orchard Road itself is just 9 direct stops away. Whereas for Canberra, it's a little bit further from the MRT station. It's about 10 to 12 minute walk to Canberra MRT station. But the good news is that the development is offering free shuttle bus service for all the residents. Canberra itself is actually 5 stations from Woodlands North, and it actually links you to the RTS. In terms of accessibility, Springleaf is next to SLE where the Upper Thomson exit is, whereas Canberra is about 12-minute drive from SLE from Woodlands Avenue 12 exit. And in terms of amenities, opposite Springleaf, you actually have a whole stretch of eateries. There's also a mixed development upcoming in Parcel A, which is just next to Springleaf Residence. There's also childcares around the street, but unfortunately, the nearest supermarket is at Khatib Yishun or Thomson Plaza the other direction down. Whereas for Canberra, just minutes walk away from the nearest eateries and supermarkets. It's also a few minutes drive to Sun Plaza, Sembawang Shopping Centre, and Canberra Plaza. There's also a Bukit Canberra Sports Hall. There is actually a childcare within the condominium itself. Next, the 6th step in our PIC system is development review. So let's take a look at the size of the development itself. So Canberra is 376 units, which to us is a very nice and healthy size. Springleaf is a mega development. We're looking at 941 units. It's very big. My own personal opinion, a little bit too big for my preference. It really depends. At the end of the day, like we mentioned before, a bigger unit may still make money if it fulfills all the other checklists. Remember, this is a 7-step PIC system. So if let's say your development actually checks majority of the checklist, a mega development will still move. Let's take a look at the bedroom mix itself. So Canberra, 75% is 3 and 4 bedder, which is a very good mix because we want a lot of families, and of course its location within Canberra itself is where a lot of families reside. Whereas for Springleaf, bedroom mix of 3 to 5 actually is about 60+%, which is still a very good mix. So as you can see, both developments are geared towards the bigger size units, which is more family oriented. Now let's take a look at the two developers. For Springleaf, it's actually GuocoLand. As you guys know, it's a well-known, reputable developer that's known to transform township. For example, the whole Lentor area or the Midtown at Bugis or even Tanjong Pagar, the whole Warwick Towers area. Whereas Canberra, we have Kheng, Leong and Huat. They are well known to build very prestigious development. For example, 21 Anderson, 32 Gilstead and Clean Hill. So these developers, they are actually well known to build core central region developments, and they are now moving to the OCR, the outside central region, to actually build properties for us. In terms of furnishings, both the development uses SMAC appliances, pretty good, and as well as vinyl flooring. And when it comes to facilities, Canberra, we actually have 74 of the land area dedicated to facilities and greenery. So it's actually more spacious. There is a pool. This is one thing that I like. They have a full kids zone. They call it Club Canberra. So you have like family pools, kids club, kids water slide, playground. They also have sky gardens and dining pavilion. But one thing to note, Canberra does not have a tennis court. Springleaf, on the other hand, comes with full condo facilities. For example, tennis court, there are different pools, 3 function rooms, co-working space, pets area. They also have facilities at what they call the sky terraces of various levels. For example, level 9, 13, 16 and 20th. They also have a clubhouse where you have karaoke, you can play mahjong or even table tennis. So as you can see, there's a difference when it comes to facilities. The facilities in Canberra are more geared towards family and children lifestyle, whereas for Springleaf, it's a wider variety. I hope you guys are benefiting from my sharing so far. If you do have any questions regarding Springleaf or Canberra Crescent, just drop us a text at this number and we will send you the latest information as well. The 7th and the final step is to evaluate unit layout, which can significantly impact your resale value and living experience. Of course, being harmonized, both the RC ledge and aircon ledges are all non-strata for both developments, which is good. Okay, both this development comes with APCS, which means that the walls can be knocked down if need be to accommodate your family need. Let's zoom into the units itself. So when it comes to Canberra, the 2-bedroom unit itself is actually pretty nice. It is a dumbbell layout, not much wasted space. The premium has a good sized kitchen and also a study corner. And one thing that I like, the kitchen is actually 2.85 meter wide. So a lot of 2-bedders, the kitchens are pretty small, but for this, it's actually a very good size. As for the 3-bedder compact, which is a smaller one for the stack 05, 13, 21, 28, it's actually a very good, efficient layout because it's compact. There is unfortunately no bomb shelter or mixed room. However, there's another 3-bedroom compact, which is stack 02, 10, 31, and 15. So there is a study which you can use as a helper's room. And there is also a dry and wet kitchen, which is a nice touch. However, it comes with a long corridor walkway and there's a little bit of wasted space at the entrance. So it's like a bit of an awkward corner when you step into the house. And then let's take a look at the 3-bedroom premium. Very similar layout, but it comes with a bomb shelter instead. When it comes to the 4-bedder, both the standard and the premium layout actually features our favorite landscape layout, which means the living and the dining area are actually next to each other horizontally. This is good because it makes the whole living and dining area more spacious and is a lot brighter. It also comes with a dry and wet kitchen. And there is a flexi room to be used as a study or extra room because you already have a bomb shelter which you can use as a helper's room. So this flexi room can be used whatever that you actually require. So now we are looking at the 4-bedroom compact, which is a different story when it compared to the standard and the premium. Okay, for the compact, the living is actually a little bit small for a 4-bedder. So you probably have to knock down the study wall to make it bigger. Probably also the reason why the balcony was actually extended all the way to the study. I think the purpose for you to knock it down actually have a bigger living area. There's also a weird corner at the entrance and a longish corridor which you need to take note of. As for Springleaf Residences, let's take a look at what I like and don't like. Okay, so the 2-bedder, it comes with a dumbbell layout, very nice, and it comes with a pretty decent kitchen. The 3-bedder, there's a flexible room which you can use as a maid's room or a study room. There is also a nice dry and wet kitchen area. However, there's a little bit of wasted space in front of the main door and the corridor is a little bit long over here. When it comes to the 4-bedder, the masters actually come with a little bit of a walk-in wardrobe. However, the living and dining area is a little bit smaller for a 4-bedder itself. But because the walls can be hacked, potentially knock down bedroom 4 to create a larger living area, that's also probably the reason why the balcony is very big. It extends away to bedroom 4 itself. One thing to note as well, that there is a powder room right at the entrance when you enter, which is a little bit weird for me. Okay, the 5-bedroom master also comes with a walk-in wardrobe, which is nice. It has a bomb shelter. And I like the layout because there's a junior master on the other side of the living room, which is a more efficient use of the space. Again, the living area is a little bit small for a 5-bedder, so you may have to knock down bedroom 5 to expand the living area, probably why the balcony also extends to bedroom 5. Similar as the bedroom 4, there's also a bit of wasted space at the entrance area. You have a powder room at the entrance again. And in terms of view, Canberra is actually surrounded by HDB. The west-facing units though have actually the landed housing view before the blocks of HDB in front. It's quite a distance away though. Okay, the ones on the right side of development, basically the stack 22, 27, 28, 29 and part of 30 can actually a pretty good view that faces the Canberra club, lifestyle and the kids zone. So that's probably the better views where you get to face all the facilities instead of the HDB flats. Or other than that is the landed view we're looking at. Whereas for Springleaf, you have the north part of the plot, which is actually next to the upcoming mixed development. That part is actually used for facilities. So you don't actually have any blocks facing directly to the mixed D. You have a couple of units which are east facing, which is facing the main road. That's actually pretty good because it's unblocked because it's surrounded by the landed enclave. The south facings are the one facing Seletar Expressway, can get a little bit noisy. Probably that's why the developer put in acoustic treatments to the area. It could be acoustic panels or blind at this point of time. The west facing is apparently one of the better views because it has the best view of the forest. It faces the Springleaf forest. Okay. However, please note that level 11 and below, you actually have a bird-safe windows. So which means your windows comes with dots on it. So for those of you who are like OCD, right, you may want to take note of that your window comes with dots because this is to prevent the birds from slamming into your glass. Because it is west facing, you need to take note that you may get a little bit of west sun over there, depending on how it will be the actual layout and if it's being blocked by any other thing. So let's do a very quick recap using our 7-step PIC checklist. In terms of pricing, Canberra Crescent Residences will be launching at quite an irresistible price because of its low land bid price. Whereas Springleaf Residence will be setting a new benchmark for the area. Then again, it has its first mover advantage because it is the first plot over there. Step number 2, rentability. Both are residential enclaves, but Canberra appealing more to the local mass market with the upcoming of the North Coast Innovation Corridor as well as Woodlands Regional Hub. You may actually attract some tenants. On the other hand, Springleaf may appeal to those who value convenience in terms of the Thomson East Coast Line because it brings you to town in just minutes. In terms of transformation, Canberra has an upcoming transformation of the Sembawang North New Township, Sembawang Shipyard transformation, and it will surely benefit from the North Coast Innovation Corridor as well as the RTS. Whereas for Springleaf, there will be 3 plots of land upcoming in the area, as well as a mixed development next to it. Tagore areas are also in the master plan. So in general, Canberra may give you a shorter benefit. Springleaf is we're looking at a longer term planning. Next will be pull factors. So Canberra, you have plenty of schools, and Springleaf, your pull factor will be the nature surrounding it. And it comes to amenities, connectivity and accessibility. Canberra, you're surrounded with malls, supermarkets, eateries. You have a shuttle bus to the MRT station. Springleaf, fortunately, no malls or supermarket nearby as of yet, but you have a lot of eateries at the doorstep and of course MRT right in front of you, and there is an upcoming mixed development that's happening next to it. When it comes to developmental review, both are renowned developers, so your furnishings and fittings are very good quality. Canberra is actually a very good size property. For Springleaf, personally, I feel a little bit too big for me. Facilities are pretty good for both developments. Canberra stands out with the childcare in-house. You have the whole kids zone dedicated to family, whereas Springleaf has actually more variety of facilities, including the clubhouse and the co-working space and things like that. Okay, when it comes to unit layout, there are pros and cons for both. The good thing is both are APCS, means you can knock down the walls and convert it according to your needs. What stands out for me are both the 2-bedders in both properties. I particularly like the landscape living and dining area of Canberra for the 4-bedder, but I also like the walk-in wardrobe that you have in Springleaf. So what's our verdict? If you're a family looking for a very good entry price, schools, walkable convenience, and potential upgraders from the HDB around you, Canberra Crescent is actually the choice for you. However, if you're looking for a long-term value, a more prestigious area, MRT right at your doorstep, and even a first mover advantage, then Springleaf Residences should be your choice. As you guys can see, these both developments are very strong contenders in the north with different strengths. So after hearing what I have to share, which project do you prefer? Let me know in the comments below. And if you'd like to find out more information about the project, find out which project suits your current situation better, or take a look at the actual project itself, do feel free to reach out to us at our number here. I hope you guys have enjoyed our sharing, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye bye!